Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to another weekend review, reviewing all of this weekend's Premier League and Championship action. And let's get straight into it with the game between the two title contenders. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. Gabriel Jesus was the only goal of the game in the 53rd minute. And yeah, what a result this is for City, a real statement. They were outstanding here, restricted Chelsea to no shots on target and took the goal when they needed to. Just a brilliant performance, and anyone who's getting hyped about Chelsea better hype up City too. Moving on, Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 1 was the score at Old Trafford. Courtney House with the only goal of the game in the 88th minute. And yeah, what a result this was for Villa. United 28 shots and only 4 on target, just no real cutting edge. Bruno obviously missing his penalty as well. I think it's still going, but on the whole, just really disappointing for United. So inconsistent in this title race. Moving on, Leicester 2, Burnley 2 was the score at the King Power Stadium. Jamie Vardy with an own goal gave Burnley the lead before 2 goals of his own gave Leicester 2 goals. Cornet scored for Burnley to put them 2-1 up. But yeah, Leicester 22 shots to Burnley's 9. They dominated the game, but yeah, they just can't seem to get a win at the moment. Leicester have been really underwhelming this season. Definitely need to pick it up. Everton 2, Norwich 0 was the score at Goodison Park. Andros Townsend and Decore with the goals. What's the signing Townsend's been? Had my doubts when they signed him, but yeah, it's turned out really well for them. And yeah, Everton outstanding here. Obviously had a tough few weeks, so yeah, this is a big win for Rafa. But Norwich, yeah, they were hanging the game, but to be honest, it's already looking really tough for them to stay up already, which is a big shame. Moving on, Leeds 1, West Ham 2 was the score at Elland Road. Rafinha gave Leeds the lead in the 19th minute before an own goal from Junior Firpo, and Mikel Antonio in the 90th minute gave West Ham the win, and this is a crucial win for West Ham. Yeah, lifting them up into 7th, they definitely take that. That's a great result for them. As for Leeds though, they'll be very disappointed, sitting in the relegation zone. To be honest, it really hasn't been an ideal start for them. Watford 1, Newcastle 1 was the score at Vicarage Road. Sean Longstaff in the 23rd minute gave Newcastle lead before Ismaila Sarr in the 72nd minute equalised for Watford. And yeah, quite an even game this. I think both teams would have seen this as an opportunity, but I think predictably in games like this, it turns out to be a bit of a stalemate. Both teams will be okay with the result, but I think they could have got a win here. Brentford 3, Liverpool 3 was the score at Brentford Community Stadium. Brentford took the lead for Ethan Pinnock before Jota and Salah scored 2 to give Liverpool the lead before Janelt equalised. Jones put Liverpool ahead again, but Wissa gave Brentford the equaliser. And yeah, what a great result this was for Brentford. They definitely hang in here with Liverpool and were really solid, and for me were worthy of a point. Liverpool, considering how good they've been here, really fits to walk away, but Brentford outstanding. Moving on, Southampton 0, Wolves 1 was the score at St Mary's. The only goal of the game coming from Raul Jimenez in the 61st minute. But yeah, Southampton, they played really well here for my money and definitely deserved at least a point, maybe even 3. But yeah, that moment of genius from Jimenez sealing the win. Southampton really just needs to be more clinical. That's kind of been a recurring issue for them this season, you could probably say. Arsenal 3, Tottenham 1 was the score at the Emirates. Emile Smith-Rowe, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Bukayo Saka with the goals for Arsenal, getting off to a flying start. Son had a consolation goal 10 minutes ago, but nothing more than that. And I have to say, Arsenal, yeah, Arteta seems to turn it around. Couldn't be happier for him, and I hope he continues. But Tottenham, under Nuno, I do have my doubts. I just get a feeling this won't be a very successful partnership. Palace 1, Brighton 1 was the score at Selhurst Park on Monday in the Premier League. Wilfried Zaha gave Palace the lead in the stoppage time for the first half from the penalty spot, and this time in stoppage time for the second half, Neil Maupay with the equaliser, sealing the point for Brighton. And yeah, what a huge point that is. Quite an even game, to be honest. Not a lot between either team, so I would probably say a draws result
fair result, but for Palace, just so frustrating. Brighton will definitely take it.
Moving on to the Championship now, and it finished Coventry 3, Peterborough 0 on Friday night in the Championship. 1 goal from Gustavo Hamer and 2 from that man again, Victor Gyökeres. He's on fire at the moment, and Coventry fully deserved their win. They were outstanding here. They're still absolutely flying, keeping up with the big boys. Just incredible with what they've done so far this season. As for Peterborough, a bit of a coming down to earth, really, you'd have to say, after that win in midweek. So yeah, definitely disappointing for them. West Brom 2, QPR 1 was the score at the Hawthorns on Friday night as well. Andre Gay gave QPR a lead in the first minute before 2 goals from Carlon Grant in the last 15 minutes. Gave West Brom the win, and to be honest, you'd have to say they deserved it. QPR really were hanging on for a long period of the game, and yeah, it stops the rot bit for West Brom, but QPR, they're on a bad run now and have dipped to 10th. Still early days, of course, but yeah, they really would have wanted to see that out. Moving on, Reading 1, Middlesbrough 0 was the score at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. The only goal of the game coming from Alan Halilovic in the 55th minute. And yeah, Matt Crooks got sent off in the 87th minute. Not sure whether it's a red card or not, to be honest. Very questionable decision. But Reading, it was a close game, but they slightly edged it, and they're really on a roll now. But for Middlesbrough, it's really the opposite. I think Neil Warnock could come under some pressure for his job sooner rather than later, to be honest. Swansea 1, Huddersfield 0 was the score at the Liberty Stadium. Joel Pirro with the only goal of the game in the 17th minute, and yeah, to be honest, he's probably been one of their only positives this season. But yeah, this was a deserved win for Swansea. 6 shots on target compared to Huddersfield's none, and hopefully this is the start of something for Russell Martin. Because yeah, let's face it hasn't been the ideal start for him. But yeah, Huddersfield, they were really poor, definitely need to step up. Blackpool 1, Barnsley 0 was the score at Bloomfield Road in the Championship on Saturday. Shane Lavery with the only goal of the game in the 32nd minute. And yeah, it was quite an even game, to be honest. I probably would have said a draw was a fair result, but Blackpool did well to nick it, to be honest. Up to 14th in the table now, they definitely would have taken that earlier on. Barnsley in 20th though, I just do have this growing concern. I'm not totally convinced by Marcus Scott-Piat. Before moving on, Stoke 2, Hull 0 was the score at Bet365 Stadium. Mario Vrancic and Nick Powell were the only goals of the game for Stoke, and yeah, it was an awful performance from Hull, but yeah, Stoke, they probably did enough for the win, and they're Stoke now in 5th place. Obviously had a bit of a rocky few games, but definitely seems to be getting back on track now, and just need to keep it up. As for Hull, yeah, I'm getting really concerned about them. Bournemouth 2, Luton 1 was the score at the Vitality Stadium. Philip Billing and Dominic Solanke gave Bournemouth 2 early goals before Reece Burke in the 64th minute called one back, but Luton couldn't find the equaliser. They pressed and probably had the majority of the game thanks to the 2 early-ish goals for Bournemouth. But yeah, Bournemouth getting a win. They're really flying under Scott Parker. He's done a great job so far. As for Luton, it's not been the ideal start in 16th, but still plenty of time to turn it around. Moving on, Forest drew their first game under Steve Cooper against Millwall. Millwall took a lead in the 32nd minute through Matt Smith before Max Lowe in the 52nd minute equalised for Forest. And yeah, quite an even game. I'd probably say draw was a fair result. Yeah, it does seem like Millwall are the draw specialists this season. But yeah, I'd say draw was a fair result. And for Steve Cooper's first game, it's not a disaster. Before moving on, Sheffield United 1, Derby 0 was the score at Bramall Lane. Calais Roos was sent off in the 57th minute, and I think it probably was a red. And before Billy Sharp in the 89th minute gave Sheffield United a win with a penalty. But to be honest, I was really disappointed with this performance from Sheffield United, considering the state of Derby at the moment, and Derby were having to play their reserve keeper with 10 men. It just wasn't a great performance. Only 2 shots on target. They really lacked that cutting edge going forward. Blackburn 5, Cardiff 1 was the score at Ewood Park in the Championship. Goals from Sam Gallagher, Diary Stolen, and Chilean sensation Ben Brereton Diaz for Blackburn. Sean Morrison scored for Cardiff. But yeah, Blackburn, they were outstanding here. had my doubts about Tony Mowbray, but boy oh boy is he proving me wrong at the moment. And yeah, it's Mick McCarthy now, who I think the pressure really starts to build on. Bristol City 1, Fulham 1 was the score at Ashton Gate on Saturday in the Championship. Alexander Mitrovic gave Fulham the lead in the 50th minute, before Casey Palmer equalised in the 79th minute to give Bristol City a point. And yeah, Fulham were probably the best side as you'd expect, but Bristol City, it wasn't a dreadful performance by any means, and yeah, that's a really good point for them. Fulham though, they're not in the best run of form at the moment, so yeah, Birmingham 0, Preston 0 was the score at St Andrews, and yeah, there wasn't a lot in this game really. Just a very even game, not a lot of shots either way, so yeah, you can't really be surprised it was a 0-0, to be honest. But yeah, both teams are mid-table. For Birmingham, it just stopped a little bit, and for Preston, Birmingham's a tough place to go this season, so it's an okay result for them. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts, comments down below, follow on to the link description made for daily football news, and subscribe to my channel what's going on now, it would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.